Kia ora and welcome to NZOWN. Today we are joined by singer-songwriter Tim Guy, who's just recently released his brand new album called Hummerbyes. Welcome to the show, Guy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Now, Tim, I wanted to ask you about the album Hummerbyes. It is your second album since you've been in New Zealand. Now, you are based in New Zealand, but you're originally from...
Yeah, I'm originally from Australia, born in Melbourne, but my family's always moved around and just travelled pretty much every year. We'd Dad would just be I don't know, it was like this ladder climb, you know?
Yeah.
And so we'd just be moving on and starting new schools and just sort of continued that throughout my adult life, and sort of brought me to New Zealand in 2003, but I didn't start living here until 2005.
And you're calling New Zealand home now, so what was the main reason, kind of the attraction behind staying here?
Just friends, really. Like, when I first came over, it was to sort of finish recording my first record, and then just the people that I met and the friends that I made. It just was a natural process. It wasn't even like a big deal. It was just sort of packing up a suitcase and coming over, and it was just a mate of mine, Ed McWilliams, suggested, maybe you should move over, and I was just like, yeah, and it didn't feel right at the time, but then as sort of 6 months went past, it just was like a really natural thing to do.
Would you say that in New Zealand you have more or less or around about the same kind of musical freedom and opportunities than you would in Australia?
I think it's pretty much the same. I would say that it just depends on where you are as a person, you know what I mean? And surrounding yourself with people who are moving forward and doing, on the same level that you are, and is sort of what I think everyone searches for in life anyway, and to sort of to have a musical community like the one that is here, it's just I don't know, it's productive for everybody, and yeah, I think opportunities, I don't know, I haven't been to other parts of the world, but I presume it's all the same, I think it's sort of like searching around and finding your own little spot that you click into, and then it just, it's like I found living in other cities, it's like trying to fit a square thing into a round hole, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, but here it was just sort of slotted in nicely.
Yeah.
So it's just comfortable.
It's interesting actually how you, I suppose we could say, got your break in New Zealand. Can you tell us a bit about that story?
Just through my first record was produced by Beck Runga, and we met in Melbourne, and I passed her some music, and she was well, firstly, when I heard her band play, which consisted of Tim Arnold on guitar and Benny Maitland on guitar and Milan Boric on drums, and I heard them play, and it was like a musical revelation, because it was really gentle music and played in the traditional format. And it was just something that, in Australia, we don't really have, and it's sort of like a stereotype that people say that we're fully like a pub kind of rock and roll culture, you know what I mean, with bands and stuff and music, but it's sort of true. And so when I heard those guys playing, it was just a total revelation, and that sort of, I think, drifted me towards doing it, and then it was sort of like trying to find places to tour and stuff, and it just yeah, that's kind of how I'm here, really. Yeah.
How about we spend all this day by the poolside, forget all our cares.
Now with Hummerbyes, you've been working with some of your friends, also of note, people like Anika Moore, Anna Coddington, you've got Jeremy Toy there. Has your friendships with all of these people sort of generally come about quite organically just through being in the scene that you're in?
Yeah, it's like when I first moved over and I lived with Ed McWilliams for about 2 months, and it was just me and him in this sort of apartment. I was sleeping on the lounge room floor, and it was sort of like going into a record shop and not having to go through any bad records, Yeah. It was just like totally just gave me a total history of music and New Zealand music. And so now, where I live now, and it's sort of the same group of people, and everyone just sort of hangs out at our house. And when we were making the record, it was just pretty much set it up at home, and then people would just sort of come in and just play. And like if you could just steal half an hour of their time, and as they're sort of passing through, then that's kind of how it was. And everyone was just so obliging, and it was just a very easy record to make.
Buy your shoes, I'll buy the paper and read you the words.
And your latest single, Cater for Lovers, from the album Hammerbyes, is that very much a product of kind of watching people around you, or is that from personal experience?
No, that's pretty much just from watching. Like for the last few years, I've just pretty much just written and written music and just watched people. I haven't really it's only been in the last year that I've been living in the house that I'm living now, where everything's sort of a bit more social and life's kind of, it's always good, but like it's more busy. But for when I was writing this record, mostly it was really quiet, and I was, you just have to be on the outside looking in, and that's kind of what that song is. It's just looking around at them. It's like a man's perspective in the modern world, today's modern society.
It's actually a nice segue into what the video itself, because it's based around a couple in the doll's house and kind of looking into someone's life. Is that kind of the objective behind it?
Yeah, it really is. It's just sort of, I don't know, I didn't with the video, I just sort of put it into the director's hands, and he just came back with those ideas, and I was just sort of writing along the whole time, and I think it sort of portrays the song quite well.
Apart from Hammerbyes doing well, if you had any Christmas wishes, what would they be?
I think I just my Christmas wish is to just go home and spend it with my family. So that's what I'm aiming to do. It's just a matter of actually getting there. But yeah, that's my Christmas wish.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And if the NZOWN viewers out there would like to find out a little bit more about Tim Guy, how can they do that?
They can do it by going to record stores around the country and buying the record, or that's pretty much it. Like you can just find the music around the traps, and I think so.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, Tim, it's been fantastic having you on the show today. Thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck with the album. And we're going to cut now to your new video. Would you like to introduce it?
Yeah, well, this is Cater for Lovers, and it was directed by James Solomon, and it's from my record Hammerbyes.
This is Tim Guy. You're watching NZOWN.